We now turn to the other side of the market. Let's examine the behavior of sellers. Now, this is often a little bit more difficult for students to conceptualize. After all, demand is studying the behavior of buyers. And that's a lot more intuitive for most of us because we are all buyers. But not often are we sellers. So when we're talking about supply, of course, we're examining the behavior of sellers, and it can be a little bit less intuitive, but not much. It's not too difficult. Let's begin with the law of supply. So in studying the supply curve, we are still dealing with price and the quantity supplied. The quantity supplied is the amount of a good that sellers are willing and able to sell. So let's imagine, I want you to let this one example sort of burn in your mind. Imagine that you are a home builder and the price of houses skyrockets. Would you build more houses then? Absolutely you would. Housing prices are going up. You're a home builder. Are you going to build one house or two houses? You're going to build 5 houses because the prices just got increased. So now you're making more money on every house. Home building has become more profitable. So you're going to invest more time and energy and resources in producing more homes. So the law of supply says when the price of a good rises, the quantity supplied rises as well. So that is why the supply curve is upward sloping. As the price increases, so does the quantity supplied to the market. The quantity of supply would increase as well. All right, so I want to remind you guys about something we talked about at the very beginning of this chapter, chapter 4, and that was that we are assuming in this chapter and chapters going forward that we are in a perfectly competitive market. Therefore, there are many, many buyers and many, many sellers, and the products can be thought of as being the same. And I know the example in the book they often use is ice cream. And you think, well, Ben & Jerry's is not the same as whatever company, Breyers, they're different. They have brand names, they have different ingredients. And yeah, that's why I don't like that example that the book uses. I mean, we should be talking about wheat or coffee beans or things like that. Things where Colombia coffee beans are considered the same as other Colombian coffee beans. All right, but anyways, so I just want you guys to remember that there are many buyers and sellers in the market and the products are considered the same, which means that the seller cannot make the price. The seller in that kind of situation would have to take whatever price the market would offer them. So it's not like you as a seller can say, okay, I'm going to increase the price to $7 and I'm going to supply more. Yeah, but you're forgetting about demand. Don't forget about demand. Okay, we haven't put supply and demand together yet. Anyways, the point being here is I just want to remind you that the products are considered the same. It's not the seller that really gets to set the price. They have to take whatever the market will bear. All right, anyways, so what we are seeing right now is a movement, right? And we talked about that before because we're talking about a price change, right? If the price was to go up to $7, then we would go from point A and then we go to point B, and that is a movement along the supply curve. And of course, if we decrease the price, if the market decreased the price, if the price of oil went down, we would supply less oil to the market, right? And that's what happens often. Often the global price of oil decreases, And so a lot of businesses, a lot of oil producers will decrease the amount of oil they will supply to the market. All right, guys, so factors that shift the supply curve. What factors influence whether or not a seller increases how much they supply to the market or decrease the amount that they supply to the market? Number one, input prices. So obviously if input prices go down, your business becomes more profitable, right? So if your wages, if your employees' wages go down, or other input prices, for example, if you're an ice cream producer, if the cost of cream decreases, or the cost of sugar decreases, or the cost of electricity decreases, that makes your business more profitable. And if it makes your business more profitable, it will shift to the right. And vice versa. If input prices increase, which they more often do, that makes your business less profitable. You will supply less to the market. If the government institutes a new minimum wage that's binding, that affects your employees, you have to raise their wages, that means your business becomes less profitable and the supply curve shifts to the left. All right. So anyways, and there's that term again, more profitable. And that's, you can really think about at least these two factors. Whenever you come across a supply question, you have to kind of ask yourself, does it make it more profitable or less profitable? If it makes it more profitable, shift to the right. You will supply more. And of course, whenever you implement any new technology into your business, well, the only reason why you would implement that new technology into your business is because it would make you more efficient or more profitable. So technology, adding technology that makes your business more profitable shifts the supply curve to the right. Now, as we start talking about expectations, we need to think about future prices. So what do you expect the price to be in the future? Now, if you're Ben & Jerry's, if you're an ice cream producer, I imagine you understand that you sell more ice cream in the summer. So you might be producing the same amount of ice cream, but not supplying some of it to the market right now. You might cut the supply of ice cream now in January and February because you guess that in the future you'll be able to sell that at a higher price. So that's kind of one that's a little bit less intuitive, I think. If you expect the price of your product to be increased in the future, you will supply less to the market now. Okay, supply curve shift to the left. All right, and then of course the number of sellers, which is really, really easy, right? I mean, because the more sellers you have into the market, the more quantity will be supplied in the market. Supply curves shifts to the right when the number of sellers increases. We have, well, here in Cold Lake, we have a few more places to buy coffee these days. Burger King and hey, even a Starbucks, right? And so, more sellers in the market, more coffee being supplied to the market. All right, guys, it's a good idea for you to go through these on your own. So if you want to just pause the video, I'm going to go through it on the next slide, but please pause the video and go through the thought process yourself. That's how you're going to remember this. All right, so it says, describe the impact on supply for timber beams if the following events occur. The wage rate of sawmill workers rises. Okay, that's your input prices. Input prices increase. That makes supplying products, that means running a business has become more profitable or less profitable. That's right, less profitable. So supply curve is going to shift to the left. The price of sawdust rises. So sawdust is a byproduct of creating timber beams. So has your business become more profitable or less profitable? More profitable. So it's going to shift to the right. The price of timber beam rises. Is that going to shift to the right or shift to the left? Trick question. Right. We're talking about the price of timber beams. That means that we're just going to see an increase in the quantity supplied. It's a movement along the curve, not a shift. The price of timber beams is expected to rise next year. What's going to happen to the supply of timber beams now? That's right. I am going to save it until next year. So I'm going to supply less to the market now. And the supply curve is going to shift to the left. My pen is not working right. Last one, guys. A new technology lowers the cost of producing timber beams. More profitable. Shifts to the right.